right here recently, David sold 21 copies of his book in a single day. Before that, we were lucky to sell about 6 copies per month. So what happened here? What we did is change his book title. And after changing those words, we woke up Amazon's algorithm like that, because originally David came to me selling a great book. Here's his book right here. But his book was just sitting there kind of dying on page whatever of Amazon. And when we were talking, he was working on random acts of marketing, podcast guesting, LinkedIn content, networking. None of it got him anywhere. And you can see here, the big problem is his title, The All-in-One Way to Fix Your Supply Chain. And I want to show you exactly how we fixed it, how you can fix your book title. So let me show you. Oh, let me go into slideshow mode. That's easier. So here's a bunch of other competitor book titles with my head kind of in the way. But you can see these book titles specifically speak to who the book is for, what problem we're solving, giving specificity to the story this book is telling, even if it's nonfiction, because your audience does when it's 2 a.m. and their business is falling apart and they have a big problem. They're searching for specific keywords. So how to manage difficult employees, how to fix my failed ERP software. So we changed the book title to How to Fix Your Failed SAP Transformation, 5 Steps to Get Your System Working Without Spending More Money. And pretty much right after that, we had these 21 sales on Amazon. And that's when I realized this isn't just David's problem. So I actually went deep and I analyzed the top 236 nonfiction book titles on Amazon. And it turns out that these titles follow 3 specific laws every single time. First, they speak to the buyer's moment of pain. Second, they use what I call authority triggers. And 3, their subtitle does a lot of heavy lifting. So let me show you exactly how this works. The first law is you want to speak to the buyer's moment. Here's a fun exercise that'll explain it, right? Pull up your phone. Let's actually go to Amazon right now. And let's say you're searching for a problem, like stop procrastination. Hey, I spelled that right. Awesome. But it could be anything. How to get promoted, how to save my marriage. Now, a lot of authors get very cute and create almost this extended metaphor around their title. But you can see these speak in precise language to the actual problem, right? Stop delaying, start doing. Even stop procrastination and increase productivity, which really hits it right on the head, is pretty good because people could understand that. Stop messing around, the heart to start. These titles are giving people exactly what they want when they're searching for stop procrastination, if you can imagine that. And so it's just like my best-selling book, the book that gets clients, that reached number 1 in several Amazon categories and sells over 100 copies a month, while I have like 50-ish subscribers here on YouTube, and I love every one of you, and under 200 people on my email list with no real platform to speak of. Like that's why I was struggling with this, because this title wasn't the conversation that my audience has in their head. They're not self-identifying with begging for clients. No one's identifying with that. It's not the real problem I solve for people or how they describe it. So now we're speaking people's language with the book that gets clients. And Amazon knows exactly who to show it to too. That's the other side of this. So before we go to the second law, I just want to share with you that I took everything I analyzed from all those books and put it into this winning book title swipe file. And if you want it, just comment title down below and I'll send it over. If not, we got law number 2. So law number 2 are these proof triggers. And I want to give you a demonstration right here because these are the specific words that make browsers stop scrolling. So it's the idea between getting a book on sales techniques or the only sales system you'll ever need. Time management versus time management secrets no one talks about. Leadership guide versus the proven leadership formula used by 400 plus CEOs. So do you feel the difference? There's a difference in how you express the idea behind your book. So originally in this title, the main word here was only. So it's the only all-in-one way to fix your supply chain, which hints at this is proprietary, this is unique, this is something you need to buy the book to understand. And after that, we added a few more proof triggers, which I highlighted in crazy highlights. The first 2 I want to talk about are the how-to and the 5 steps, because that shows you're getting a thought out plan, which is tactically useful. Starting your book with how to or why is a really good way of framing your book because it inspires a lot of confidence that you've thought through this, that you have steps, that you have certainty behind what you're about to share. The failed SAP transformation is important because as I was talking to David to improve upon this, the big piece we found is that's the language people use essentially. So when a enterprise small business is installing an ERP system, which is basically this big piece of computer technology, a big piece of software, they describe it as a failed transformation. And this is the specific software that we're talking about. So when someone sees failed SAP transformation, they know the book is exactly for them. And it speaks a lot more strongly than just saying, here's how to lead when your supply chain doesn't working. And that may be the most important piece of all. The last part I have is having this without. So a lot of times when people see your book title, that you have a good benefit and outcome, but there's always a but that maybe they could fix their failed SAP transformation. It's going to cost them a lot of money. I was just watching a home renovation show with my girlfriend where this family had 4 kids, all under 7, and they had a half-finished basement because they had an issue with their contractor. And obviously, if they had tens of thousands of dollars to throw at the house, they could fix that problem right away. But no one wants to go through a failed project that they spend a ton of money on and then be told, we have to spend another arm and a leg to get this fixed. So that's a huge constraint if someone's in this space where they just spent on a huge piece of software, they just changed all their systems, retrained their staff, and now you're telling them, okay, we have to spend a lot more. So I want to go over more examples. I thought this one was hilarious. The diet workout, get fit while you are in the bathroom. I don't know what YouTube's going to ping me for here, but this is really interesting because it's so unexpected. It's a parody, right? It's making fun of high intensity interval training, but it gets it across in a way that's so unique that this book title instantly stops you. And a lot of the times, having a new disruptive idea is really just combining something uncommon or overlooked with what the status quo is. Example that you could probably use is speaking to a specific demographic. If you're just writing an exercise book, because whether you're exercising after 50, after 60, even if you're 20 or 30 years old, you want to have good movement patterns. You want to focus on strength training. That's all going to be good no matter how old you are. But if you focus on exercise after 50, that's going to speak more strongly to someone who is over 50, and you're going to stand out more. And the other benefit is people over 50 tend to have more money. They may buy your workout gear because it feels more tailored for them, even if the underlying information is the same. Even if you can give the same workout to someone who's 49 or 20 or 72. Like, it's very powerful. I also picked up this one, the Galveston diet, because a lot of times you can draw a circle around the way you get people results. And that can help you stand out and create intrigue and secret that gets people to click your titles. This one is a common type of title where you can point to a group of people who are really succeeding in whatever area it might be, and then write a book using that credibility and familiarity to hook people in and create something specific, powerful, and secretive. Other examples of this are Why French Women Don't Get Fat. The Secrets of the Rockefellers or The Millionaire Next Door is another good example. And this goes into the third law. This third law is where we really leveled up the subtitle and made it our secret weapon. Because most authors skip it or they write something that's just full of keywords. This is David's subtitle now, 5 steps to get your system working without spending more money. And your subtitle works to cash the check your title just wrote. And together they need to answer 3 questions. So what is it? Like, what is your book? Who is it for? And what happens after I read it? Here's an example with Richard Vanderbloom. I worked with him on his book. He had almost 250,000 followers on LinkedIn, huge LinkedIn expert. And we worked on his book together. Based on that informed the title and the content and the cover. And so we leaned really heavily into the proof here because it is such a busy market But I just wanted to share with you that the success of his book, like we've sold thousands of copies, was definitely supported by his brand and his reach and his platform. And so now I want to level with you that David's title got people to click, but it was his cover that almost killed the whole thing. So the title is the great first step, but you need to express it well in a cover. And I'll show you the exact cover changes that took him from maybe we should kind of quit promoting this book to thinking that we need to write a whole other one, including one design element that actually increased our conversions by a factor of 5. So that's in the next video. You can see that somewhere over here. Peace.